Galaxy Watch 7, let's start off with that one, should be out in July, August when the new phones launch, the Fold 6, the Flip 6, all that. They should have some of the new watches, Galaxy Watch 7s, and they're going to bring with it a new feature that is better than any other watch released from Samsung in the past, and that is that the Galaxy Watch 7 will bring with it 50% faster charging speed than the Galaxy Watch 6. So the Watch 6 charges at 10 watts, the Watch 7 will charge at 15 watts. So maybe previous on the Watch 6, it took you about an hour 20, hour 30 to fully charge that watch. You're probably looking at closer to an hour with the 15 watt charging. So it should be a nice little upgrade if you weren't in love with the charging on the watches. To be fair though, charging that fast for a device that lasts days and days, it's nice to have, but I don't think it's a complete necessity really. I know when I wear a watch, I don't need to top it off sometimes I need to top it off, but it does top off fairly quick enough that I'm fine. Otherwise I just charge it when I go to bed, but still nice to have the extra fast charging on the Watch 7 coming. Next up, everyone's favorite topic is the crease on the next Galaxy Z Fold 6, and it's been a pain point for a lot of folks on the Fold phone from Samsung for the 5 generations. It's basically minutely gotten smaller and smaller as the years have progressed, to the point where it's at times hard to tell any difference at all. And we had a story recently last week that said like, hey, there might be no crease at all, or it might be greatly reduced. And it looks like we have some more solid information on the crease for the Galaxy Z Fold 6. The tweet comes from Ice Universe stating that although the creases are not completely eliminated, according to testers, the Z Fold 6 does reduce the crease. And that could be 25%, could be 50%. I think it's gonna be more so in the line of it being something that's been probably about 50% reduced. I think you'll still be able to see it, but I think it's gonna be reduced to a point where it's making more people happy that are bothered by it. But you just can't, you should not be adding weight to the crease on the display. You just can't. If you are, you've never played with this phone for more than a couple days. You haven't. You might have played for 5 seconds and you'll be like, I can see the crease. You cannot. You use this thing for a few days and it's lost. You don't even notice it, and it doesn't bother you at the very least, even if you did notice it. So good news coming about the crease. Obviously the percentages, we don't know exactly how much. Today is all about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and the new camera design that will be launching with that phone. Now we're due to get very similar cameras in terms of performance that we've got for basically forever with these phones. So don't expect a big jump from the Fold 5 to the Fold 6, for instance, in terms of camera quality and performance. Probably be a little slight jump, but based off, software and algorithm differences. But the design of the camera lens looks like it is changing, and we know this because Ice Universe has put out a tweet detailing such changes. Here he says, exclusive, this is the camera detail design of the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And you can see obviously the black outline of the camera lenses. Now this is an AI generated image. It's not an actual look at the official camera lens, but from what he's been told and knows, this is what the camera lens and outer edge will look like. Again, when you get those ridged lines that go all the way around the camera lens. And we don't know much in terms of what's the megapixels and all that. We've heard the megapixels and all that's basically going to stay the same. And how this will work better in terms of, could it help performance? Could it help with durability? My latter guess is that it's going to help with durability more so than anything, with scratches and drops and things like that if the lens did land. But when you take a look at that phone, the Z Fold 6 lens, and then you look at, for instance, the Z Fold 5, which has, this is like the blue phone, and has I guess it's like the gunmetal gray or silver outline to the camera, and you'll be getting, it looks like a complete black outline on the Z Fold 6 cameras, which I'm fine with. I think this doesn't look bad because it kind of pops in the thing, but that also hides it a little bit more as well. And we also don't know how much of a camera bump we're gonna have. You know, almost every phone has a camera bump. Some phones have it more pronounced than others, and Samsung's actually, especially on the Z Fold line, has been pretty good about it not like really popping out all that much on there. But the design of that, you know, it doesn't look bad, I would say. I'm not looking at it like, damn, that looks bad. I'm also not looking at it saying, dang, that looks amazing. It's kind of, you know, just whatever, it's fine. And I don't need my cameras to eye pop and take control of the back of the phone all that much. I don't need, you know, because I'm gonna have a case anyway. I need it to kind of blend in together, and I think that's what that does. In a design sense, it kind of blends into whatever the phone is and will look like. We've got a big newsworthy day of news for you for Samsung, so let's dive right in. Our first one is about the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro earphones that will be coming out in July, August of this year when they launch the new phones, the Flip 6 and the Fold 6. And there's some new information coming out about these, about a brand new design and better features in general. So here's what we're hearing so far out of Korea. It is that the Galaxy Buds 3 become longer like bean sprouts, giving you enhanced sound quality and AI functions. Now, what do they mean by that? When we go into the article, they're saying Samsung is drastically changing the appearance of their wireless earphones, the Buds 3. Currently, they are making pillars on earphones shaped like kidney beans and making them like bean sprouts instead. This is the first time in 5 years that Samsung has changed the design of the Buds since the launch of the Buds series in 2019. According to the paper's coverage on the 22nd, Samsung will present the Buds 3 series with a changed exterior design at Galaxy Unpacked in July, and it is reported that Samsung Electronics will release 2 models of Buds 3, the Pro and the regular. They're also changing the design of the Buds to improve sound quality and performance. Unlike its competitor Apple Wireless AirPods, Samsung has stuck to the kidney-shaped design, which I don't know if I would agree with that. They did have the Buds Live, that look like kidneys, but not any of the other ones. Because of this, call quality has been evaluated as somewhat inferior compared to AirPods. With the microphone positioned downward, it is reported that Samsung plans to significantly improve call quality by changing the design, while also significantly improving the active noise cancellation function. And then they also say that it's expected that they're going to go into the artificial intelligence arena with functions for the Buds, beginning supporting the interpretation function through a software update for the Buds series in February. There have been criticisms in industry that there are limits to Samsung's current design in order to support various AI functions through wireless earphones. This means that the physical size must be increased to support various functions as well as battery performance. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, no pun intended. It sounds like they're gonna be bigger, which in turn makes me think, I wonder if they're gonna have like a stem like AirPods Pro do and not just be a little tiny bud, to increase battery life, performance with the microphones, and give it more power so it can run AI functions. That's probably my biggest takeaway from this, is that they sound like they're gonna be bigger and longer with a new design with a lot more functionality and more a bigger battery in general. Next up, coming as zero surprise to probably anybody, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Fold 6 will come with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 as per the elect over in Korea. Again, not really a huge surprise. They've been using the Snapdragon processors in these phones for, I think, from the beginning everywhere. So, you know, don't expect anything different. You shouldn't this year either. 8 Gen 3 is a magnificent, powerful processor. Last story of the day shows off a case for the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And the reason I show you this, not just because it's an exciting case, it's more to see off, again, in another render, the design of what you should expect with the Fold 6. And when we look at that front display on the left there, you can tell it doesn't look like a big dramatic change from you know, the Fold 5. It looks a little bit wider, but in general doesn't look all that different at all. And we're not expecting it at this point to be a much bigger outside display in terms of its thickness. It just looks like a minor increase, but I still think it's gonna make a big impact in day-to-day, like saying, oh, there you go. It does feel bigger. It doesn't look bigger, but you know, you can definitely feel an increase. I think it's gonna be one of those types of things on here. Also, when you look at the tops and the bottoms of these photos, where you can see the, you know, the bottom and the left and the right, you can notice, and you should already expect this, no S Pen internally in this phone, and there wasn't supposed to be in terms of any rumors saying that it was going to have any of that lately. So again, you can just have some more confirmation on that. And then even the display on the inside, it looks very similar to what we get with the Fold 5. I really wouldn't expect all that much of a difference. We have some really, really weird news about the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra and the Galaxy Z Fold 6, a new phone we haven't even heard about. Let's talk about the Z Fold 6 Ultra first. I put a video out recently, and I put other ones out weeks ago as well. And my most recent one was saying that, in my opinion, I don't think the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra exists. And I go through a multitude of reasons why I think that, and I still stand by that. But someone that has an amazing track record of information and leaks has put out a tweet stating that Q6A, also known as the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra, is very real, even if it's missing from Mr. B's list. Now, I don't even know who he's talking about, Mr. B. I was trying to decipher who he means by Mr. B, but I know he's not talking about Mr. Beast. I have no idea who he's talking about. Q6A, though, is the model number for the Z Fold 6 Ultra, and he's saying it exists. I still don't believe it, though. I mean, it might exist, but I just don't think it's going to end up coming out. Best case scenario is it comes out, but it's limited to China and Korea and goes out nowhere else and is extremely difficult to get. I don't even think that's going to happen. I'll be super shocked. And if you think about it, some of the rumors about the Z Fold 6 Ultra, it has integrated S Pen, you know, bigger displays, all that. I just don't think it's going to happen. I can't imagine this. We would have seen something by then. Now, I want to get on to the next story, because the next story, to me, makes zero sense at all. This one too, but I mean, this guy, again, has a great track record. And it is a Galaxy Z Fold 6 Slim Edition. Not an Ultra, not a regular Z Fold 6, but a Slim Edition. Now, this tweet comes from Ross Young. I was just about to do my news, and this popped out saying that hearing about a Samsung Fold 6 Slim being released in Q4 of 2024, bigger display than the Fold 6, price probably similar to the Fold 6, no pen input. Now this makes me think, is this the Ultra? Is this the Ultra we've been hearing about minus the S Pen input? Something that's slimmer, bigger, something that maybe we all want with better cameras and better specs and everything else that we've always dreamed of? This actually could be the phone, and it would also make sense with why we haven't seen anything. Because if it's coming out Q4 of 2024, Q4 doesn't start until September, October, November, December, which let's be fair too, at the same time, Pixel phones aren't even out, and we already know what those are gonna pretty much look like, and those are coming out in Q4 of 2024. So this just boggles my mind. But it also makes sense that if it does come out in Q4 of 2024, there's not a definitive answer to this, but there's a probability it might, depending upon how late it comes in 2024, it might have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in it. And with that would be better performance, battery life, everything that you'd basically want in a new processor. And then you'd have bigger displays, you would have a very slim design. This could be it, guys. This could be, but we're gonna have to wait anywhere between 4 to 6-7 months. And that's a long time for me anyway, especially when I know something's happening. Now I hope when they do Unpacked in August that they just don't come out and be like, yep, we got the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and the Flip 6 and, you know, these other accessories and things like that. And that's all we're doing. And then months later, a couple months later, like, hey, we're having a new phone release. I hope that they let us know that if they're gonna release a premium edition of the Z Fold 6, have it be a slim edition or an ultra or whatever they call it, but something better than the regular Z Fold 6, I hope they let us know right then and there that it's happening, because it's bad. It's gonna be a turnoff, a huge turnoff for people to see that and be like, oh man, I missed out. I'm never gonna trust Samsung again. So hopefully that happens. We'll see what happens also with this. If you don't love drama, don't watch this show, because the wishy-washy pull and tug and pull of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra continues to make its turn and its pulls and its yanks and its every which way going back and forth. That's what it's all about. If you remember, we've heard that the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra exists. I'm saying it doesn't exist, and then we've had more people saying it doesn't exist. We had a tweet yesterday that introduced a potential new model, not an Ultra, but a thin model of the Z Fold 6 that would be released towards the end of the year, and that was from Ross Young, who said he was hearing about a Z Fold 6 Slim, and it would be released quarter four of 2024 with a bigger display than the Fold 6. Price would probably be similar to the Z Fold 6, but with no pen input. And I was like, hey, that's kind of different. Well, what are they gonna do with that? Because they've got the Z Fold 6 launching in July or August, and then what are they gonna do? Come out with another version and not tell us beforehand, and people are gonna get upset? Well, Ice Universe and some other folks put some replies back to this phone when Ross Young put his tweet, and they said the following. He said that the first tweet anyway says the following, that continue to pay attention. This one seems to be the so-called Ultra. He's talking about what Ross Young spoke about. And the internal testers have not seen its details because it has been developed late, but it must exist, which is kind of weird, because then he has another tweet and he says, and I'm assuming this is the quote unquote what the external display will look like on the Z Fold 6, the regular one, in July, August, saying external screen, very cryptic in a way, but still showing off what the size of the Z Fold 6 external display should be. But then Ishan Argarwal, who's another leaker, said no Ultra, right? Just one model. And he replied back to Ishan saying, yes, correct, just one model. So not only is he kind of contradicting himself, saying this must be the Ultra model and then saying not, but to be fair, after he said it's not, he did say that hours after he put that it must be the Ultra model. I still don't think we're gonna get an Ultra model. Even this thin model that we're supposed to get of the Z Fold 6, you've got to imagine that it's either some kind of, someone said the fan edition, and Ice Universe said no, the Ice Universe doesn't have bigger displays and it's not going to be slimmer. And then at that point it's like, well, what is that? How could they come out with a phone months later? You've got to just think that it's probably not going to come out this year. They might have something ready, but it probably will come out next year, or maybe early next year or mid next year. But I just can't imagine they would beat their audience up like that and release the Z Fold 6 in July and then not say anything and then release another phone later on this year, unless they tell us about both phones and they're like, hey, the Z Fold 6 available now, it's cheaper, but now we're coming out with this other version of the Z Fold 6 and it's gonna be called the Air or the Thin. Maybe they'll do something like that, not call it the Ultra, and keep a lot of this stuff the same, but put like a bigger display with a bigger battery and faster charging, and but keep the cameras the same or something. I can see maybe them doing something like that, but again, telling us that they're gonna come out with a slightly better version months from the launch of the Z Fold 6. I can potentially see something like that, but even still, for people to still not have any real renders of these phones, especially with Samsung, like all of Samsung stuff is leaked out so early. You just got to think that this probably is not going to see the light of day in 2024 based off that fact. If you're looking to buy a Samsung Galaxy Ring, you have to go through a couple of steps in order to choose that, and we know the exact steps and how you will choose that so that you get the right fit. This tweet comes from Evan Blass, and I don't know if I'm going to show off the picture, but I will read it to you in full just because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But let me read it to you real quick. So first of all, if you don't know your size of ring to get, you will first receive a ring sizing kit first. So once you order that, you say, I don't know my size option. We'll ship you a sizing kit before your ring, and then you test your size. Sample rings are based on US standard sizing. Use them to find the best size for your preferred ring. Next, you're gonna confirm your size. Confirm your ring size in my order page. Please check the email for size confirmation. And then the last step would be to get your Galaxy ring. Your best fit Galaxy ring will finally be delivered. If you already know your size, all you gotta do is choose your current ring size and place your order. And then step 2 would be you get your Galaxy ring delivered right away in the general process. So obviously my main question from this would be, would you, if you don't know your size and you do and you're interested in the pre-order, you want to get it before it gets actually delivered, will you get your ring sizing kit before and still get your ring shipped on time so that you can have it at the same time as everybody else? That would be like my only question about it. Or maybe you can print something off at home, and I don't know, you'd have to cut it out yourself, I guess. But it's kind of interesting how they're going to end up doing this. It's too bad they can't figure it out by using the Galaxy phone and it being able to measure your finger that way. So yeah, but if you did get a Galaxy ring, which finger would you wear it on? That's the better question. And our last story of the day, as you can see from the headline here, if you can read Spanish, is that Samsung has officially announced Samsung One UI 7. That's right, One UI 7 is just around the corner. And in a post on their community, they say, hello, One UI 6 beta program has ended and the official version update is being provided. We ask that you participate in the One UI 7 beta program in the future. Thank you. And when you think about this, when would One UI 7 actually be available? Most likely September, October of 2024 that the betas would probably start to ring out, and then the official releases would most likely be in as early as November, and then a lot more by December and January and February, just like they've kind of always done with all of the releases, kind of push them. They've been pushed back bit by bit. But yeah, that's what we're looking at in terms of One UI 7. In terms of features, we don't really know yet. Some folks think they're gonna mess with the control panel a bit in terms of the way that looks, the quick toggles. It could be, you know, some different colors, different fonts, things like that, but we don't know too much in terms of feature-wise or anything else. But we know that the Galaxy Z Fold 6 outer display is bigger, but when we really buckle down and dive into this a lot, there's a reason for it, and it's just not as impressive as you would probably care to think. So let's look at this. This is a tweet put out by Ali Tatek, who's saying the difference between the Fold 5 and Fold 6 based on leaks, the new outer display, boxier design, and slimmer hinge makes the Fold 6 look much better. What do you think? And when I look at this, I agree, it does look better. It looks more symmetrical. I think that's probably one of the biggest things, rather than having that little curve on the display in the top left on the bezel there that the Fold 5 has. The Fold 6 just is basically perfectly symmetrical with the bezels and the overall look of the phone. It looks great. Also, when I look at the Fold 5 and versus the Fold 6, it kind of just looks like they basically made the phone square and they pretty much, not completely, but pretty much eliminated the bezel, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't look, I mean, I guess physically it does look a little bit wider, but you know, if you do those two things that I just mentioned, you know, square off the phone and eliminate the bezel, you've pretty much got the same phone, and it it breaks down to not feeling super impressive, or at least impressive enough to like pretty much be wowed by it. But I also say that when you look at the Fold 6 versus the Fold 5, especially when you're gonna have it in your hand, I think, again, that's when the magic is going to happen with the Fold 6. It's gonna be one of those devices that might not look a whole lot different in terms of the display size, but I think once you get it in hand, between the lighter weight and the better durability, which the Fold 5 is already built really well, and the Fold 6 just having perfectly symmetrical squared off designs, that's where it's gonna really be like, wow, this does feel a little bit different. It feels like something that they should have had for a while, and that's where the impressiveness of this device is really gonna come into play, and I think it's going to wow, if you wanna put that into quotes, a lot of people, and it's gonna be a phone that they're gonna be like, damn, this, I didn't think I was gonna like it this much, but I do. That's the way I think this is gonna play out. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road.